What's up, brothers and sisters? This is my continuation video of Jesus is Joshua. Jesus is the superimposed story of what the acts of Joshua. Joshua was the only man to receive Moses' hidden information that Moses did hide. We could turn to the Apocrypha, which was taken out of the Bible, the 14 extra books. We could turn to that and go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 14. You can start at verse 1, but I'm going to go to verse 6. And the Father told Moses, "These words thou shalt declare, and these words thou shalt hide." Okay? We must know that Joshua was Moses' right-hand man. He was a young man that believed in God. He was with Moses since a pup. And the spirit was on him. And I'm going to confirm that in Exodus, that's chapter 24. I want y'all to follow me good. I want y'all to listen for understanding, not don't listen to this video to say, that's wrong, or that's wrong. Listen to this video to open your mind. Listen to the video which say, well, it could be right. Prove me wrong with meditation. Prove me wrong with constant research. Don't prove me wrong with a quick thinking. But we're going to go to Exodus 24 and 12. The Lord said unto Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain, and stay there, and I will give you the tablets of stone with the law and commands I have written for their instruction." Then Moses set out with Joshua his aide, and Moses went up on the mountain of God. So Joshua was always by Moses' side. So that's why when the Father told Moses he was going to pass, he told him to give all his stuff to Joshua. And Joshua did many, many wonders. And that's why when they speak of Jesus, they talk about, if people was to tell you the many wonders about what he did, the book would be too long. Yeah, because Joshua led Israel to the promised land. Joshua gave Israel a land. Joshua destroyed all the kingdoms. Joshua got Moses' secrets, which came from the Father. So Joshua was that dude. But when you turn to the New Testament and you hear this man Jesus and all this, and you just get all confused. Joshua's father was a carpenter. Just like the man so-called, the one they made up Jesus, they said his father was a carpenter. Because it's Joshua's story. Joshua's father, Nun, which was doing servitude in Egypt, was a carpenter. He was under heavy bondage, so he did a lot of work. He was also, Joshua's father, Nun, was also from the tribe of Ephraim, which Ephraim, Joseph was given the birthright. So that's what you get all this baby being born from, this Joseph and Mary story. That's where all that comes from, because the Nun, Joshua's father, was given a birthright. Joseph, the tribe of Joseph, was given a birthright. Judah, we was given kingship. So the Greeks know all this. So they wrote the New Testament and superimposed it. But is it true or is it wrong? It's true if you listen to what Joshua is saying. That's why when you turn to Matthew 24 and 5, I tell people a lot of this verse, but we don't read it like that, because it's the crafty counsel that's been put on our brain to not let us see it. But it's right here for us. Jesus tell us 24 and 5. These are the signs. This Joshua talking really. But chapter 24 is the signs of the end of age. And this is what Jesus say, 24 and 4. Jesus/Joshua answered, "Watch out that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, claiming I am Christ, and will deceive many." We must understand that Jesus is answering these 12 disciples who he was always with, who Moses commanded that they go spy out the land, which is the land of Canaan. And I'm going to show you that in Numbers 13 and 2, how Joshua was always with the children of Israel. But even Joshua said, my brothers went the other way. My heart stayed holy with the Father. My heart always stayed with the Father. But my brothers who I was with, it didn't do that. And this New Testament should help a lot of people see that the disciples are constantly asking questions. Joshua, Jesus, always speaking in parables to try to make them understand, because they didn't understand. And it was never a teaching of the law, because the law is spiritual. So it's a meditation of the law. And that's the first thing that the Father told Joshua when Joshua got the law. We're going to go to Joshua 1:8. This is what he told Joshua. Do not let this book of the law depart from your mouth. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. So the law was never to go preach about. And that's why when you turn to the New Testament, you see Joshua, Jesus, arguing with the Pharisees about them preaching the law, because they didn't understand the law. The children of Israel didn't understand the law. Joshua knew what Moses knew. Joshua knew these times and what was going to happen at the end of times. So he knew what the Pharisees was doing. He knew the Pharisees had wrote down Moses' information wrong. And that's why you hear Jesus saying, if Moses wrote certain stuff because of y'all hearts. Because Moses was trying to teach the children of Israel something that he got from the Father, but they didn't want to listen because they were still stuck in Egypt. What they had just left. That's why their mind was in Egypt. Their mind wasn't. They didn't have the spiritual connection of the Father that Moses had. Only he can get this to Joshua. And we're gonna go to. I think I need to do a live video so people can ask questions, because it's really so much that the information is so true, and it's right here in the book that a lot of people ain't gonna believe it. Who gonna believe the report? That's all I can say. 17. What that is? 17, 17, 16. Nah, I ain't gonna read that one. I'm gonna have to do a live video, y'all. I'm gonna get some stuff together. But all the New Testament is Joshua's story superimposed. Joshua led us to the promised land. Joshua destroyed all the kings that was in our way for us to get to our promised land. Joshua did all this. Joshua led all the soldiers. So what the Greeks did, we can't let the children of Israel see this. We can't let them see that this was a man of war, but there was a humble man that was strictly with the Father. And once you humble and once you connect with the Father, it's nobody stopping you. So they had to water Joshua's story down, made him look soft. But we can also know Joshua turned over tables when he went in the synagogue. So Joshua, was a man of war. He was over all the warriors. But you get to the New Testament, they superimpose his story and switch the name. So Jesus, the word Jesus, is only a hidden name. Only a hidden name. Jesus go with Joshua. It's the New Testament that he brought after Moses. Because after Joshua, you can read his book. The children of Israel went led astray. And Joshua tell you, I'm homeless. I didn't have a land. Joshua went moved up in a little city, but he divided the land to the Israelites. But I'm gonna do a live video on it. I want Israel to bring all their questions. I don't answer foolish questions. I disregard that. But if it's a real question, I would do my best to answer it. And Jesus is Joshua, man. Moses' right-hand man. He tell you, if you ain't believe Moses, you ain't gonna believe me. Because Moses saying the same thing. But Joshua was able to see a great man of God get destroyed by a bunch of people who don't listen. So he learned. Somebody under you can always learn, by watching. So Joshua watched Moses the whole time. So he already knew how the children of Israel thought. He already knew how they took stuff because he watched it, how they took it when Moses tried to give it to him. So that's my little 10-minute video on the Jesus is Joshua. I'm going to do another live video on it. Hopefully I can have some more information to make, a person be like, make a person think. But Jesus is Joshua, man. Jesus, English name, you want to go to Joshua. His Hebrew name, Yahshua. Joshua Hebrew name, Yahshua. The stories go together. His father, Joshua's father, was a carpenter. Jesus' father was a carpenter. You know why they both carpenters? Because Jesus is Joshua. Peace, Israel. I hope that shares some light. I love y'all brothers and sisters. We wake up. The time is near. The saints finna go marching in. The Zion train is coming your way. You better be able to get on board. Peace, one love.